I don't know if you can see, it's a beautiful morning this morning. Autumn, cold, but a lovely day to be on the road. Bit of a mist rising off the fields. Down in the valley, look. The fog down in the valley. So the dealer we are taking the bike to today is Manhattan Motorcycles in Sheffield. I've never actually used them before, but seemed a decent bunch speaking to them on the phone, and they've come back to me as soon as they've got some calipers in stock. I wasn't in it, I was late to actually phone anybody about getting my brakes done because it just wasn't a top priority for me. But obviously, being a safety recall, I should certainly do so. So I am doing. So folks, I thought just on my way to the dealer this morning, roads like this would be a good one just to discuss the Bridgestone Adventure Cross AX41 tyres, or whatever they are. I can't quite remember. They've got one of the longest names in the world. I've had quite a lot of comments since I fitted them. Still keep getting them from time to time. People asking me what they like on the road, and also other ones commenting, just being critical, saying it's a road bike, why you fitted them, blah blah blah. Which is fine, everybody's got their opinions. Certainly it was designed to be a road bike, but I use it more like an SUV. Everything I own is used more like an SUV. I want it to do everything. I don't want a one-trick pony in anything I own, really. So it's a cold autumn morning. I don't know how cold, but my face is a little bit cooler than it should be, principally because I've got can't pull my buff up. Otherwise you'd stand even less chance of hearing me. I don't ride crazy. To give you an example, Silver Fox that you've probably seen on the channel a couple of times is in his late 50s. Hopefully he doesn't mind me saying that. And oh, actually that was a good example. Cold slippy road. It did just slightly step out on me there just as I pulled out and accelerated. That is what I tend to find. I mean, I don't know how even a normal tyre would react in that circumstances, in fairness. Any motorbike tyre, you've only got limited contact patch, but I've not had any real big moments on them. But yeah, back to Silver Fox. He's in his late 50s. Tends to ride a lot faster than I do. I'm not one for really throwing it around corners. Don't mind when super dry weather and getting over a bit, but it certainly is not something I necessarily want to be doing with these tyres on. I mean, the road looks dry here, but then you get onto cold, greasy patches, and around here you've got mud, you've got diesel from tractors, oil, etc. You have got to be careful in anything you drive. So, in answer to people's questions, I think if you ride sensibly and largely within the law, bit out of practice, I've not rode for a while, they're fine. And I actually tend to like how knobblies feel on the road. Not full knobblies, obviously these are designed for big adventure bikes and such, so they're designed to live a bit longer, deal with a heavier bike, and perform more in a 50-50 way, so you can get to the trails, you can go on your gravel roads, etc, etc. They're not full mud pluggers. That being said, I have used them, if you've seen previous videos, in the snow and muddy field and such, and off-road, although most of the off-road sections around me are more rocky rather than full-on mud. They're more gravel and rocks and stuff, so it's hard to say on those. Going a bit steady on these corners because just a bit out of practice and a bit cold, to be fair. I'm a little bit stiffer than I should be. I have actually had it slide on one of these corners with these tyres on. I think it was the one just up here. I went a little bit aggressive at it, and it's one where it does tempt you to lean over quite a lot because it comes back on itself a bit here. So I'll be a bit more careful this time, but I did lean it over once before, and it did go to wash on me, but in a predictable manner. I didn't end up laid on the floor, but that would be a danger. I think from how I see some people ride, if you do expect to be riding a bit like you're on a MotoGP, obviously you won't be fitting these tyres. I want the ability, when I do come across tricky sections, or when I want to go dabble off-road or on longer camping trips and things, or even like up to Scotland and such, where you do encounter more off-roady, poor condition roads and such, I like to have the traction. Same as with my Land Rover. I've got full mud tyres on my Land Rover. I mean, it doesn't matter so much anymore, it doesn't do a lot of miles, but in reality that doesn't do a lot of off-road these days. But occasionally I'll be pulling a fully laden trailer through a muddy field, so when I do that, I want to be able to do it. There's no point having a Land Rover if you can't tow a trailer through a muddy field. Pointless. So much the same with these. This is my general thinking. I've even got knobbly tyres on the grub, but then I probably gets used for more tricky off-road, generally with it being lighter. Let's just go around this guy so we're not sat looking at the back of a van. Not far to go now, just some busy central Sheffield roads to negotiate. Trying to think of the best way to go. Let's go right, I think. Gotta love the machine, Matt. And anything, we're still above the door. Not far. Is that the Royal Enfield sign I can see? I think it is. Is I'm in the right spot? Yes. Here we are. So I've had the calipers done. I've not had a good look at them yet. They're still gold. They don't have any writing on anymore, so they don't look as good. So they might have to get a sticker on them. Service was painless, so I turned up at just before 9 o'clock, before they were actually open. But got it to them, ready for them starting work at 9 o'clock as requested. And they said it was going to be approximately 2 hours, and they called me in about an hour and a half, so quicker than anticipated. So I went straight back and just sat up the road and did some work in a local coffee shop. I didn't get a chance to interrogate them as to, well, one, what mine looked like, and two, any more information on them. They were tied up on the phone, so I've just grabbed my key and went. But yeah, quick, easy service. So just trying to ascertain if they actually feel any different, which I'm fairly sure they don't. My front one felt a bit different, but I think it was just how they set my lever initially. I've never been overly impressed. Well, this is wrong. The rear brake, more recently, I've not been that impressed with it. I suspect I'd contaminated the pads with my HDF 50 and such. That doesn't feel any different. I'm presuming that they didn't actually they don't change the pads. I don't see it would make sense to change the pads unless you'd worn them out, because they're going onto the same disc. Presumably the calipers are exactly the same, apart from whatever modified to stop them corroding. So yeah, fairly simple, nothing major to report. Just seen a photo opportunity. One of my favourite things, other than motorbikes, is timber stuff, logs and logging with chainsaws. So let's combine the two. Picture of some lovely stacked timber and my beloved motorbike.